When your cat suddenly follows you everywhere, watches you constantly, and refuses to leave your side, do you actually know what they are trying to say? Yes. It feels comforting, like they are just being affectionate, but behind that closeness there is something deeper that most people miss. It is one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat condoned if you misunderstand it, which most owners do. You might push them away or completely miss what they have been trying to tell you. Let's start with what this constant presence really means. It is not clinginess, it is emotional calibration. Have you ever noticed your cat trailing behind you from room to room? Even when nothing exciting is happening, most people think it is about dependency. Like your cat is just being clingy or needy, but here is what is actually happening. Cats do not follow you because they cannot be alone. Behavioral scientists have observed that cats track movement patterns of individuals they feel connected to. It is not about needing you physically. It is about syncing with you emotionally. Your cat is adjusting to your presence. Think about that for a second. What feels like clinginess is actually awareness. They are watching how you move when you pause, how you exist in space, and here is where it gets more important. When you dismiss this as just following, you miss the fact that your cat is trying to stay aligned with you. And by the way, if your cat ever sits and just stares at you for long periods without doing anything, do not brush it off. We will get to what that really means later, and it is something most owners wish they understood sooner. Your cat is studying you literally. Have you ever caught your cat watching you like they are trying to figure something out? Most people assume it is random curiosity, but here's what is actually happening. A 2019 study from the University of Kyoto found that cats observe human behavior and adjust their responses based on emotional cues, including voice tone and facial movement. This is not passive watching, this is active learning. Your cat is building a map of who you are. Think about that for a second. Every time you speak, move, or react, your cat is recording patterns. And here is the emotional part most people miss. Animal cognition research shows that cats who can predict their owner's behavior experience less stress, which means your presence is not just familiar, it is stabilizing. You are becoming something your cat understands deeply, and what makes this even more powerful is they do not do this with everyone. They are marking you without you realizing it. Have you ever noticed your cat brushing against your legs, your hands, even your face, especially when they are following you around? Most people think it is just affection, but here is what is actually happening. Cats have scent glands on their cheeks, paws, and body. When they rub against you, they are transferring pheromones, chemical signals that define safety and familiarity. This is not random. This is intentional. Think about that for a second. Your cat is blending their scent with yours. Researchers who study feline behavior call this social bonding through scent. Marking you are not just someone they like, you are part of their environment. And here is where it gets even more meaningful. They are making you feel like home. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. This behavior comes from something ancient. Have you ever wondered why your cat stays close, even when there is no reason to? Most people think it is learned behavior from being a pet, but here's what is actually happening in the wild. Young cats stay close to their mother, not just for food, but for survival. Learning movement, positioning, timing, all of it is learned through proximity. A study from the University of Lincoln found that domestic cats retain these proximity-based behaviors into adulthood, especially in environments where they feel safe. Think about that for a second. Your cat is not just following you, they are returning to a deeply wired instinct. And here is where it becomes emotional. When your cat chooses to stay close to you, they are placing you in a role their brain associates with safety, guidance, and stability. You are not just their owner, you are their reference point. They do not do this with just anyone. Have you ever noticed how your cat behaves differently around other people? Maybe they hide, maybe they stay distant, maybe they ignore them completely, but with you, they follow, they stay. They engage. Here is what most people do not realize. Cats are extremely selective with closeness. Research in animal behavior shows that cats reserve sustained proximity and attention for individuals they trust most. Think about that for a second. Your cat is choosing you not out of habitat of trust, and here is where it gets even more powerful. They are showing you a version of themselves that most people will never see. Unfiltered, present, connected. So when your cat stays near you, it is not random, it is selective vulnerability. This is what most owners never realize. Have you ever had your cat just sit near you quietly doing nothing, not asking for attention? Not playing, just there. Most people think it means nothing, like the cat is just existing. But here's what is actually happening here. Cat is choosing to share space without needing anything from you. Think about that for a second in the wild stillness. Is safety? A cat that is calm, exposed, and present is not on alert. They are at ease, and here is the deeper truth. When your cat sits near you like that, they are lowering their guard completely. Remember earlier when I said, if your cat stares at you quietly, do not ignore it. This is what I was talking about. That gaze, that stillness, it is not empty. It is trust without demanding. What makes this even more meaningful is they are choosing to exist with you not because they need something, but because they feel safe enough not to need anything at all. That is rare. That is vulnerable. That is connection. When this disappears, it means something now. Here's something most people overlook. What happens if your cat stops following you, stops staying? You stop staying close. At first, it might seem easier, more space, less interruption, but here is what is actually happening. Behavioral studies show that a sudden decrease in social engagement in cats can signal stress, discomfort, or emotional withdrawal. Think about that. For a second, the presence you once ignored was connection, and when it disappears, something has changed. This is where most owners get it wrong. They assume the cat is just becoming independent, but often the cat is becoming distant. Oh, if your cat suddenly pulls away, becomes quiet, or stops interacting the way they used to, do not ignore it, reconnect, because sometimes silence is not peace, it is distance. So when your cat follows you, watches you, and stays close without explanation, do you actually know what it means? It is not clinginess, it is not dependency, it is not random behavior. That is your cat trying to understand you, sync with you, and feel safe with you. That is not simple presence, that is trust, and that quiet moment where they chose to stay near you. It was never small to them, and it should not be small to you either.